Hello, everyone. Damon the Scorpion Peel here. Totally not sucking on a pumpkin spice like chewable.
Clearly not.
So, welcome to, another Cyclone of Fright Saturday and CYtober Day.
11.
When? I can't believe we haven't missed one of these yet. Going strong. But welcome to all our ghouls, goblins, and ghosties. And
If you don't know which one you are, you're a ghoul.
now, the person who knows what we're talking about today is sitting to my left? Yeah, I think left. So, Bubbaloo, what we talking about?
I have no clue what we're talking about.
You're supposed to. You're sitting to my left.
Nope.
But you're to my left.
Either way, no.
But why? We decided that the person to my left was going to do it. Are you not to my left?
I guess on the screen over there, yes.
No, I meant in person.
No. I'm sure you're right in person.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Okay, so are you a flat earther?
No.
Okay, so.
That is left. This is right.
Okay, but what is the earth then? If you're not a flat earther, what is it?
It's round.
Okay, so if I go left far enough, will you not be there?
I guess.
Thus, you're on my left.
I guess.
We never said like distance that you had to be. So you are in fact on my left. You just admitted that.
I guess if we're going this whole world round thing.
You don't think the world is round?
It is round. We all know it's round.
Well, I'm just saying you're acting like I'm making something up, but you're either agreeing with me that the world's round or you're a flat earther.
No, I'm not a flat earther.
So you're agreeing that you're on my left.
I guess. I don't know.
Well, is there a problem with my logic?
No, there's not. No, anyways.
Gunzoon tight.
Bless you.
So, you have no idea. You were supposed to come up with something. Are you failing at your job over there?
You know I'm not good at coming up with ideas.
Aren't you a writer? Isn't the whole thing of writing is coming up with ideas and, like, sticking a pin through someone's eye?
No, I do not do that.
So you don't come up with ideas.
I do, but I don't stick pins through people's eyes.
Well, how do you get the ink for the pen then?
I just use a regular normal pin.
Oh, I thought you used, like, the little feather pen. Yeah, you have to get the ink.
Either way, if I did, I'm sure there are inkwells to dip it in.
It's called a human eye.
No.
That's the oldest inkwell.
No, that sounds like something out of Jason Voorhees.
Is it Jason literate?
Well, no, but I'm pretty sure he got stabbed with a pin in the eyeball. And Jason Takes Manhattan. Remember, it was the one that Stephen King allegedly used.
But if he was what, 10 when he died? Was it 10 or 12?
I think we decided it was 10.
Isn't there a good chance he was illiterate? Just because he, was disfigured doesn't mean that he would have been slow or anything.
I don't think anyone said he was supposed to be, like, mentally slow. He just couldn't swim.
So he'd be literate then.
I suppose so, yes.
Maybe that's how he finds them. They're all like, oh, big monster. Obviously, he can't read. So they're like texting each other the details. The first person he kills, he just has their phone. And it's like a group chat situation. So Jason's like, oh, they're hiding behind the barn.
I mean, that probably is it.
So maybe that's actually the answer there. It's, all this time, we've always thought Jason was teleporting. Which, in some, he does teleport. Like, Manhattan, come on. That one didn't even try to pretend. Like, that Jason was teleporting everywhere. They didn't even try to pretend. That one, they're like, you know what? That one was wrote by some dude who just drank a fifth of vodka, and someone dared him to drive, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna drive, all right. I'm gonna drive this movie. That's what I'm gonna drive."
I don't think he should be behind the wheel of a car or that screen.
Didn't you say that Jason Takes Manhattan is your favorite though?
I didn't say it was my favorite. I said it was like my second favorite. I said my first favorite is part 6.
Well, no, since you said the dude shouldn't be behind a screen, as you're talking about your second favorite Jason, that makes someone think you hate the franchise.
Well, no, but like obviously he I don't know. There was a lot wrong with the plot of Manhattan, but it's still a good one nonetheless.
Like the Jason, the hallucination Jason kid thing appearing everywhere.
Well, there's that, plus the fact that randomly in underneath Manhattan at midnight every night they're like doing some kind of toxic sludge.
That apparently will hurt a normal human and a already dead person, but will not hurt a child. Nice sludge if you think about it.
I mean, I suppose so.
Well, because at the end, I mean, the sludge somehow destroys the deadness, the adultness, the maybe that was a metaphor for like adults are dead inside because of having to go to work. So the sludge washed away the adultness, the disgustingness of Jason, leaving behind just the innocent kid that was for some reason shivering, yes, but not actually harmed by the toxic sludge.
I mean, honestly, I'm surprised that nobody has figured out the recipe to the toxic sludge. People are putting all sorts of other weird serums and stuff on their face.
But remember, you have to be like grotesquely adult and hideous in order for the sludge to take you back to a child. And most people just want to look younger, they don't actually want to be younger. How many people you know that are like, yeah, I really wish I could go back and do middle school again. I really loved my homework in middle school. I want to redo middle school.
Well, I mean, I guess the difference is you wouldn't have to go to school.
No, he was back as a 12-year-old there. I don't think that anyone's going to buy his ID at that point. Honestly, he's probably going to get deported as an illegal immigrant because he won't have legal papers now.
I don't know. He did swim by the Statue of Liberty, though, so maybe.
Would you just get like captured by the government and held at Area 51? Honestly, because like your DNA should still match, even though you've been taken back. Like your DNA should still match. So if they had your DNA on record, it should show up. So they're either gonna think like you're an identical twin, a clone, a probe, or they're just gonna probe you. Because for some reason our government likes probing people. Like, think about it. Every time you go to the airport, the first thing they want to say is spread your legs and, let me stick my fingers up your butt.
Ooh. Don't remind me of that TSA event where I thought I was going to be probed like an alien.
But yeah, so, I don't know. I don't know if the sludge would work. Now, there's plenty of people who are hideous on the inside, but it feels like the sludge is very directly hideous on the outside. Not to mention, like I said, I feel like it's a metaphor for, like, adultness killing you.
I mean, it certainly does.
But yeah, because do you not admit that him and like the sludge was also nice enough to like change his clothes to put him in some underwear. It probably would have made sense to left him in like the shirt and pants, but no, it was like, nah, I want this kid in his underwear. Maybe the sludge had some more stuff going on.
I mean, it could have. I don't know.
That's gonna be Jason Part 13. Jason and the predatory sludge.
Ew. That sounds like a horrific title and premise for a film.
But so you had the sludge there, which was questionable at best. You also had the whole idea of like, as they're on this little boat, like the little boat that should have capsized, have got filled with water and sank because it was supposed to be storming so bad. Like, you have the whole idea that Jason's apparently, you know, what, 200 feet under them? Like, did he have a rope attached to it so he could keep in line with his walking under them?
Maybe, but regardless, he doesn't have to breathe, so I guess he could have went in any direction as long as he somehow eyeballed where they were at.
I don't know. Does he breathe? We've seen him spit up water on multiple occasions. Hell, in that movie, remember when the sludge is coming? He, for some reason, says, "Mommy, don't let me drown," and spits up some water.
I don't think they really thought too much into it.
So, yeah, I had some questions there.
Well, there's also the Freddy vs. Jason scene where they're giving him CPR. So, I mean, I don't really know why you'd have to do that if he didn't apparently have the power to breathe.
Yeah, see, I feel like he must breathe. So, like, maybe he has a super long snorkel that we don't see. Like, whenever he goes underwater, he quickly pulls it out, and you just don't notice it because it's so skinny.
Maybe he breathed like the mother on a night swim.
Also, one thing I wanted to bring up about that movie is so the beginning of it is like the people in the boat and their anchor goes down and touches that wire, right?
Yes.
They have this big, thick electrical wire. I'm assuming running electricity to the little town or something. But it wasn't there in any of the previous movies, meaning they added this. And it runs underneath Jason's dead body. So, like, whoever installed this wire saw it was a dead body and actually lifted the body up, have the wire run underneath him, and then set it back down. Oh, and switched his t-shirt. Because in part 7, you can see his rib cage and stuff, his spinal cord. Because the shirt's all ripped.
Yes.
This one's that's not the case. You can't see his spine anymore. His shirt. So either Jason was down there sewing his shirt back together, or whoever lifted him up to put this wire under him just put him in a new shirt. But I'm just like, what company? It's like, oh, look, dead body. Sir, do you want us to move that? Yeah, that seems like a lot of paperwork, Paul. A lot of paperwork, Paul. Just lift it up and run the wire underneath it. But why? Well, because if the wire's underneath it, if someone finds it, they'll think it must have been there before. Because no one's going to lift up the dead body to put a wire under it. So clearly we won't be held responsible for not doing anything. And we don't have to file the paperwork.
I don't know, but do you think they on that one lake where there's the like statue of Jason that someone put there? Do you think they put an electrical cord underneath that?
No. What they put was just a little electrical pulses. So anyone who has adult toys with them, they start going haywire. Like, they instantly get hacked. So anyone who happens to have something in their purse or maybe wearing it on their ear, it just starts going.
I don't know. That seems like a lot of work for that.
They wanted. What is it Jason does? Apparently, there's nothing that makes women hotter and want to get it on more than Jason Voorhees being around. Think of every Jason movie. They're like, someone's out to kill us. Oh, hey, big fella, you want to get it on? Like, how many of those are people skinny dipping for Jason in?
There is an unusual amount of skinny dipping in the most disgusting water, it seems like, in existence.
Okay, so let's see. We know in part 7, we know there was skinny dipping in that one. I want to say part 3? No, part 2. Because it's Packanack.
Yes.
Because you have the one go skinny dipping and then. So you have that. Ooh, which one is it with the lady that skinny dips out to the raft and then he like stabs her through the raft? Part 4 has skinny dipping too, but that wasn't one of the kills.
I was gonna say she was waiting for one of the dudes to come out. Which dude was it?
It's not part 3 because none of them. Part 3 had no skinny dipping, I don't think.
True. Although it did have that creepy age discrepancy.
Oh, you mean the dude who was 8 and she was 19 and they had had a relationship for at least 2 years.
Yes.
Yeah. Um, hmm. Which one is it? Man, this is gonna drive me nuts. It's not part 5, no, because dude couldn't actually breathe underwater. Part 1, it wasn't. There was no skinny dipping on part 1. Part 6 had no skinny dipping.
Maybe it was part 5.
It wasn't part 5.
Hmm.
Roy McCallahan can't freaking breathe underwater.
Hmm.
And no, they had their gratuitous tit shot in the woods, remember, with the...
Part 4 then?
Part 4? No. Part, part 4 had the skinny dipping, but it was all... while Jason wasn't around. Because part 4 is the one with the 2 twins, right? Or is that part 7?
It wasn't part 7. 7 was the one where the dude's cousin was having the party.
Yes. No, it is part 4 because Tommy's sister, that's the one where they meet the 2 twins on the bike
Yes.
trail.
Yes.
Because they're all skinny dipping there.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's not that one. At least, okay, let's think of how they die on part 4. So, you had the 2 twins.
Yes.
The one gets impelled by a spear when she goes to get on her bike and leave.
Yes.
Because she wasn't getting none from the dude with the girlfriend.
Yes.
The other one gets thrown out a window and lands
on the car and then
should still be alive. Should still be alive, but for some reason's like, nah, I'm dead.
She just died off screen or couldn't live without her twin.
Maybe it is part 4, but they weren't supposed to be right next to the lake, so they would have had to have traveled a while to get back to the lake.
I don't know. I just remember she was like, she thought she was meeting one of the guys.
It would have to be part 4, because part 3 we know definitely didn't have it. We know part 6 didn't have it. Part 7 we already discussed. It's one, and it's not that one. Because that's the one with the dude who's, like, taking off his shirt so slow. And Jason kills him. And she pops up out of the water to see Jason just killed him. Jason comes in the water. So she's like, if I stay in the same spot.
She's like,
but in the same spot. But in the same spot, she doesn't move. A puppy would at least move.
True.
She stays in the same spot. She's like, if I stay in the same spot, maybe the killer that just went in the water won't be able to find me.
That is true.
Like, they'll only be able to find me if I move to a different spot. It's like, no, like, you could swim to the other side. You could swim back to shore. You could just swim out. Nope, she chooses to swim in the same spot. So Jason's still not supposed to be able to swim, right?
In theory, yes.
So what type of leg power does he have? Because he always be, it's like a 20-foot deep part of the lake. And he'd be springing up out of the water like a torpedo.
Well, you know the part on SpongeBob with David Hasselhoff? That's what he's doing. Yes, underneath the water, though.
Wouldn't that just launch like the machete out of the water? Because it'd be his pecs coming together to launch something in between.
Or maybe he just, like, there's weird under-lake currents, and he swims on them like a sea turtle.
And then just leaves at the one moment to pop up out.
It doesn't have to make sense. It just has to garner some views.
I'm imagining he's just set up a bunch of ropes down there, and the people just kind of miss them as they're swimming. They think they're kelp or something. And he just climbs up the rope, and he has a little platform hanging off the rope. He just...
He must have some real upper body strength if he's doing all that.
Well, he frog splashes out of the water. Part 6, he straight up swims up. Must be like a torpedo. Remember, he launches himself up over the boat that Tommy's in to frog splash back down.
That is true. That is true.
And he had enough force frog splashing that the boat actually goes in two. Like, how fat or forceful must you have been doing it that the boat breaks?
Maybe it was one of those like really rickety boats. It just didn't look rickety until that exact second.
It held that giant rock that Tommy put on it. I imagine that rock would probably weigh about the same as Jason.
It was a paper mache rock. You just couldn't tell it.
Well, then Tommy needs to work on his upper body muscle because he had a hard time moving that paper mache rock. Not to mention, wouldn't paper mache just kind of dissolve in water, which Jason would just instantly be freed?
You don't have to notice. They just use several different takes.
And, like, wouldn't it have made more sense to add a shorter chain? Like, because the way it works, like, the reason Jason's able to grab Tommy, he's able to grab the girl, is because they gave him, like, 10 foot of chain to dangle off of. Like, couldn't you have gave him 6 foot of chain to dangle off of? Because if you're worried about him touching the chain on the rock, like, he could still grab the chain and pull himself down to it from the 10 foot.
True, true, but I don't know. Maybe that was all they had in stock at the Home Depot.
I don't think they even went to a Homes Depot. And I feel like they had time to get it custom made. I mean, he was busy killing all the friends.
That is true. That is true.
I still love Tommy telling her in that one, call the cops. So she goes to the cop car, sees her friend's dead head, and she's like, oh, I can't call the cops now. It's like, oh, the radio's busted? Nah, radio's fine. But there's a head there. It's like, okay, does the head somehow have radio wave blockers?
I mean, it's not like she wasn't gonna get any deader, so I mean, your friend's already dead. You might as well just go ahead and call for help.
Or her and her like, Tommy, we need to find my dad first. Otherwise, we won't be able to stop Jason. As she's straight up getting her dad killed. Her dad's the only smart policeman that we've ever seen in a Friday the 13th. Like, he was dumb at first with his hatred of Tommy. Just don't know the prejudice towards Tommy. Like, Tommy did nothing wrong in any of the movies, yet they have some hardcore prejudice for him.
He was just keeping the Jason legend alive.
But, okay, that's the dumbest thing ever. It's supposed to be, what? Tommy was, I think we decided 12? So,
Yes.
6 years. 6 years is all that's supposed to have passed between the 4th movie and the 6th movie. All those kids were 17 or 18, meaning they were 12, 11 or 12 when the whole Jason thing happened. Every single one of them knew the Jason thing. Acting like they don't know nothing is stupid.
They took a trip over to Springwood and got some hypnoseal.
Okay, that didn't make you forget everything. That made it so you didn't sleep.
No, you slept. You just didn't dream.
No, I'm pretty sure they didn't sleep. Like, did he see all their eyes?
No, they definitely slept. Some apparently slept way too long. That's why they had the comatose ones.
Oh, no. That was from the loving. See, they had a two-part system there. Unwanted loving and hypnoseal. And some people, the unwanted loving put them into a coma state. They couldn't take all that, pleasure. That's the way it was.
I don't.
Which Jason are we watching tonight? Jason Goes to Hell on our watch list?
I believe so. I think we decided that Jason Goes to Hell and Jason X we were watching at the same time.
Oh, so you mean me sitting there like doodling on the floor as they play in the background?
I guess so. Anything but actually paying attention to him.
That's the only like Jason X you could pay attention to because it straight up did like Seed of Chucky. It just flat out said, "Yeah, I'm no longer a horror, I'm a comedy." Jason Goes to Hell, like I'm trying to think of a redeemable part of that movie.
I don't know. I can't particularly think of one. I don't know. I don't think there's one.
It's short, I guess. I think it's only around the 90-minute mark, so at least it's not 2 hours.
True, true.
But yeah, it doesn't make sense. But it also doesn't make sense why Jason's mask always has the axe thing in it. Whenever it's Tommy brings a mask, it's not supposed to be the same mask. Or the whole Tommy going to cremate Jason when in the fifth one they're like Jason was cremated. So if they dug a grave for Jason, put him in said grave. They know they put him in a grave. Who the hell did they cremate and why did they say it was Jason?
They weren't concerned. They just wanted to do away with whoever it was.
But yeah, Jason. So much fun in so many of his movies, but so little plot in so many of his movies.
True.
No, I would still say Jason's plot holds together better than the new Chucky. Like Curse of Chucky onward, I would say that plot I think it doesn't exist. It's the whole like Game of Thrones whenever Baldy McBeaknose is like, "Are you questioning my honor, imp?" And Tyrion Lannister is like, "I am not questioning your honor. I'm denying its existence." That's how I feel about the new Chuckies. I'm not questioning their plot. I'm denying it exists. And remember, he wants to send Chucky to space.
That is a place no Chucky should be going.
They're making a movie. He very well might be going into space as we talk.
I don't know. I'd rather him not.
It's sad whenever you miss Seed of Chucky. Like, now Seed of Chucky's like the good old days. It used to be like the original trilogy was the good old days. 3 was a little... But 1 and 2 were extremely solid. 3 was still good. Bride of Chucky was okay. Still don't get the amount of times we had to close our eyes whenever... Like, the actual doll-on-doll love scene is like a minute and a half. Yeah, we were having to close our eyes every, I feel like 4 minutes.
Yeah, I don't really know. I have no clue. I guess maybe because we were one of the only children in there.
But there's not even a lot of, like, tits or anything in Brides of Chucky. I've seen way more tits in so many more movies.
I don't know. It's the same thing as how we were able to watch all sorts of scary shows, but Ren and Stimpy was off limits.
Okay, besides the doll tits, does Bride of Chucky even have tits? Like, I know the 2 are getting it on, but does it even show her tits before they, like, shoot the glass above them, killing them?
I don't think so. I think it just, like, shows them under the covers, like, gyrating.
So, yeah, I mean, Leprechaun 2 has more tits. And clearly better tits than Bride of Chucky. And that was a mower that was turned on its side?
I don't really know what it was, but it was pretty hilarious how he was falling for it. I guess she could teleport too, because don't forget how like, he saw her walk in the house, but then she was somehow in the garage 2 seconds later, beckoning him indoors.
Okay, see, the problem here is you're thinking logical here. Once a pair of breasts are exposed, a lot of guys stop thinking logically. Think about any horror movie out there. Like, logic doesn't seem to go when breasts are there. When the breastises are exposed, like, logic starts to go out the window. Me, personally, I still prefer the logic because, you know, breastises, nice. Dying in a horrible fashion, not nice. So I'm gonna have to pass on both.
That is true.
Like, if it came as, like, if you could get it a la carte, like, one without the other, maybe. Like, if you could get the nice breastises without the horrible, painful death. So, if they had an a la carte menu, fine, it's all good. But as long as it's a combo meal, yeah, nah, I'm gonna have to pass.
They're dying especially horrible usually in movies if you see the person's whole naked body.
Well, that because the combo meal, you can't pay for that combo meal. Those combo meals get paid in blood.
True.
And unfortunately, Like the full shebang, that's 22 pints of blood. A human doesn't have 22 pints of blood.
Like,
Unless it's Johnny Depp.
half the time, though, it never makes any sense what they're supposed to have been doing because for some reason the woman always has to be fully declothed, while the dude usually still has his blue jeans on.
Well, not only that, sometimes the dude will still have a raincoat, like his overalls, his blue jeans under his overalls. And like maybe some long johns because he might be cold, a onesie. And just to be safe, like a big belt with a huge belt buckle that takes up his entire crotchal region, just to be on the safe side. I'm thinking most of them are like Ken doll situations
They have to be.
where they don't actually have anything. So they're kind of just rubbing up against each other. Much like, you'd imagine lesbians. I'm imagining much horror movies, it's most of that. Well, except for in Hatchet, because remember, they had the testicles in the tree.
That is true.
But yeah, so if you're not Johnny Depp, you can't pay the price. Because we know Johnny Depp has what? 2,300 gallons of blood in his system?
It would seem so, more than any normal human in existence.
Because is Johnny Depp the one who gets dragged in the bed and then the blood shoots up over everything?
Yes, and the
Or is he...
actors almost got electrocuted in real life.
Okay, because it's part 3 with the dude who's pulled into the bed and just drowns in it, right?
No, that's part 4.
Part 4?
Yeah, because remember he was watching or listening to like the dirty movie or whatever. I'm pretty sure he was watching a Miss America pageant, but he was like reading a dirty mag.
And then he imagines there's a stripper under his waterbed, and for some reason he doesn't think that's suspicious.
Well, I mean, his own parents didn't think it was suspicious that his body somehow got in between the waterbed. Like, how would you get in between the waterbed? They're just like, he's dead. You shouldn't be worried he's dead. You'd be worried how he got in the waterbed and then became dead.
True, that does raise a lot of questions because like the waterbed wasn't damaged, it wasn't leaking, there wasn't a giant hole in it. He was somehow just on the other side, floating there. Like, if that doesn't scream murder, I don't know what does. Like, that screams like the dude either, unfortunately for him, discovered he has the superpower to phase through things, but hasn't learned control, so he phases through the waterbed into it, and then can't phase out. So either he was unfortunate discovering his X-Men mutant power, or he was straight up murdered and stuck into a waterbed.
Either way, they didn't investigate nearly as much as they should have.
Well, I think because they just kind of gave up. Like, as long as it was a teenager dying on Elm Street or near Elm Street, anywhere in Springwood, they was just like, another teenager dead. Oh, well. I guess less truancy we have to worry about.
I guess.
Well, a lot of this video is us talking about Jason, and it's because we've been watching the Jason movies. Apparently tonight we're on Jason...
Goes to Hell, which is where the film should have went.
Jason Boogie Loos in Hell. Which I don't think Jason ever actually goes to hell in that. I mean, he has sex, so... Well, at least he goes into a woman's stuff, so... You could say by the definition of sex, he had it. So he finally loses his virginity. Maybe that's where the sex slave idea for in the remake came from.
Maybe.
Is like, oh, it took 9 movies for Jason to lose his V card. Let's do something about that. But so, yeah, I mean, Jason doesn't actually ever wind up like dancing in hell in it, but he does lose his V card. I guess that's something. Especially because Freddy pulling him down, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to hell, because Freddy doesn't stick around in hell. Freddy actually sold himself to those 3 weird...
Dream demons.
Dream demon, dream gods, whatever the hell those...
They just call them dream demons.
Whatever the hell those 3 things are. Don't really know why there had to be 3 of them either, but...
Unlucky number in some cultures, I'm pretty sure.
3 is usually considered lucky.
Mm.
13 is usually considered unlucky.
Mm.
And 7 is considered you might get some. Well, anyways, we hope you enjoyed this video. We hope you have been enjoying CYtober and all the videos we've posted. We will have more, of course, for you tomorrow and every day of CYtober. As for now, who knows what's next? I can say that while we only had one skit this week, next week is looking like 3 or 4. Can't tell you which days though, because that changes quite drastically. I mean, in some of these videos, I'm saying it's CYtober Day 2, and it's being released on CYtober Day 3. So, CYtober Day 3's video is saying CYtober Day 2. So, yeah. I can't guarantee which days, but yeah, we have, I think, 3 or 4 skits planned for this week.
True.
Because we have a lot of skits planned. It's just I didn't want to front load all of them. I didn't want all of them to be released beginning of the month. So you will be seeing more skits as we're going forward, though. Tell he's eating an M&M on the ground.
He is not.
He is too.
He is not.
He is too. I dropped one earlier, and he's eating it.
Well, don't let him.
How am I supposed to stop him? It's in his mouth.
Well, you shouldn't have dropped it, and if you did drop it, then you should have picked it up.
I knew Nook would come up and eat it. He likes cakes and M&Ms and
Well, Nook
Twinkies.
eat it. Cakes or cookies or M&Ms.
What are you talking about? I'm trying to get him to be 150 pounds.
No.
Why?
No.
But happy CYtober, everyone. This is a Cyclone of Fright. Signing off for today. Thank you to all ghouls, goblins, and ghosties who watch this. Make sure to, maybe check out our books. They are supernatural horror themed. Kind of goes with the month. So maybe check them out. Maybe.
And the ebook version of mine is on sale for 99 cents right now.
And I'm pretty sure you're getting closer to book 2's release.
Yes. It should be out in just a few weeks.
So, I mean, while waiting for book 2, you could grab book 1 and read it. Womp womp womp. But yeah, anyways, you guys have a great one. We will see you next time.
See you next time.